Okay friends, I want to show you something here before we get started disassembling the metering block. You want to mark these metering blocks from your front and your rear. And it looks like the last time I rebuilt this carburetor, I know we probably can't see it with the camera, but I actually just scribed the word front into the top of this metering block. And so if I've got it written on the front, I don't necessarily need to do it on the rear. Same thing for your fuel bowls. You know, if you want to put an R on the rear one and a F on the front one or something like that, you know, anything to make your life easier, go for it. You know, it's going to make it where you can keep these parts kind of organized and make sure everything goes back like it come off. Okay, so let's get back to the metering block. Go ahead and pull your gaskets off. Go ahead and lay them out of the way. And see if you can go ahead and get these off. These do have the good non-stick blue gaskets on here. Those are the best kind to use on a Holley carburetor because you can actually pull the bowls off at the racetrack and change jets and put them back on and they don't leak. So it works out pretty good. Now I've got a slosh preventer mounted in the top of each one of these bowls here, or these metering blocks. I'm gonna leave these in place because you can run these through the cleaner and it doesn't really affect them any. They'll be fine, and you can clean them and blow them out, make sure you get all the solvent and everything out of them, because it's actually held in with a little like a little nail basically is what holds this thing in place. So you can leave those in place. Now we do want to go ahead and remove the jets because we want to make sure we don't have any trash or anything in here. Now you want to use a straight blade screwdriver and make sure you got it lined up good before you break it loose, because if you got like halfway in there and you go to turn it, you can actually harm the jet itself. You can kind of bend it or make a scuff on it, and then it actually doesn't flow the fuel as specified. Okay, so let's take a look at these front jets here. Now they have a number stamped into them, and let's see if I can see them. I need to have my reading glasses with me. I don't know if I can see them. Looks like I've got 70s. Okay, I've got 70s in the front of this carburetor. Okay, so I want to go and lay these aside. We want to go ahead and run them through the cleaner, and the reason we removed them because if there's any crud or anything on the other side of these jets, you know, we'll be able to get all that cleaned out. The last thing that we want to remove is the power valve. Okay, you should be able to take a 1-inch wrench and just break it loose and spin it out by hand. And there's a little gasket, and you'll get new gaskets in your kit, but that's your power valve. And Holley makes I know of 3 different type of power valves, and I believe this one here is a 6.5 or 6.5. I'm not mistaken. There again, I need my reading glasses. But anyway, let's go ahead and lay it aside. We can take a look at that later. Let's keep them separated right now, okay? We'll keep our front one over here. You're going to get a new one in the kit so we can match them up. So there's our front fuel bowl. Only other thing is our idle mixture screws. We want to go ahead and remove both of them. And they'll just simply spin them out. And they got like a needle on each end. So let's go ahead and remove them. Move them by hand. And there's a little piece of cork in here that kind of acts as sort of like a gasket. So you can take your little pocket screwdriver and go ahead and try to get this little piece of cork out of here. As you can see, there it is on the end of the screwdriver. There's the other one. We'll get them out of there. Now the front metering block now is ready to be cleaned. So let's lay it aside. And real quickly, we'll go ahead and just disassemble the rear one too. Let's go ahead and pull the jets out. Now remember, we had 70s in the front, okay? So there's a good chance we got something different here in the back. And let's see if I can see them. It looks like a 76. I believe that's a 76. And folks, before I assemble this thing, I will go get my reading glasses. I tell you, it really stinks getting old to where you can't see. I started losing a little bit of my close-up vision, I guess, at around 40. And I think that's about typical. But anyway, go ahead and remove your power valve. And I believe this power valve is probably the same. Like I said, we'll double check that in a little bit before reassembly. But we're just going to keep them apart right now. I've got the front one laid over here, I got the rear one laid over here, and we're going to go back and double check them to make sure we match them up correctly in case the kit does give us more than one type of power valve. Remove the gaskets, these non-stick gaskets, and there we go. So we've got our rear metering block disassembled. Now on the rear metering block there is no adjustment for an idle circuit, okay? So there's plugs bored in there, it's been drilled and everything, but they're not open to where you can adjust the idle on the rear. So there we go. And that's the biggest reason that you need to remember, you know, to mark the front and the rear metering block, because there are some different passages and stuff and things that are not drilled out yet on the rear one. So there we go. Folks, the next step is we'll get our solvent out and we'll get all these parts soaking. Okay, now we're ready to start cleaning up some of these parts here. Folks, here today we're going to be using a Berryman brand Chem Dip carburetor cleaner, okay? This stuff is very caustic. Try not to get any of this on your hands. It comes with a little basket here, okay, that you can actually dip down in the 1 gallon container after you're done. So right now we're going to go ahead and start taking all our little parts, all these little things, and throw them in the basket. And all the little stuff that we took off, there are jets, we're going to put them in there. All our nuts and screws, everything is going to go in the basket and get soaked, okay? So let's get all this stuff in here and let that start soaking, and then we'll talk about cleaning the larger pieces. We're going to have to show you something, a little clever way of doing that when you have just 1 gallon of solvent. And actually, I'll just go ahead and tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take an old antifreeze jug and we're going to cut the side of it out, and we're going to use that to pour this the carburetor cleaners in here. We're going to pour it into that gallon jug to where we can actually soak these larger pieces, but I'll show you that in just a little bit. I'm just looking around, make sure I got everything that I want to clean. Now I've got all the little small parts in here except for my Neyland seats, because we're getting new ones, we don't need that. Except for our power valves, because we don't need to clean them, we're getting brand new ones. And our floats, we don't need to soak our floats, we're just going to clean them off with a can of choke cleaner and wipe them down good. And that's about everything. We've got everything clean here, and let's just see if we can get our metering blocks in here, because if we can, we'll go ahead and soak our metering blocks too. We can probably turn them just like so. Yeah, it looks like they'll fit in there just fine. And we'll go ahead and slide this over where you can see it. We're going to go ahead and submerge this basket into the cleaner. And we're going to let that sit a little bit, okay? And then we'll come back and we'll show you how we rinse this off, and we'll go ahead and get our other parts soaking too. Now friends, since this is sat in the solvent for a little bit and had a chance to soak and do its thing, we're going to go ahead and pull this tray out, sit it in our little tray here. Now we'll take this outside here in a minute, and we'll actually use the water hose to go ahead and rinse all the solvent off and do a final cleaning on those pieces. Now next of all, we took a antifreeze container, like I was telling you before, took a razor blade, cut the side of it out, got the lid back on here nice and tight, And what we're going to do is go ahead and pour all of our solvent into this container, okay? So we can go ahead and start getting this base plate clean. Be very careful. Try not to spill too much, or you can make a large mess. Okay, friends, we'll let that soak a little bit, clean that base plate, and then we'll move on to the main body and the fuel bowls. Okay, friends, after you get through soaking your parts in the solvent, just take water, just your water hose. Go ahead and rinse all the solvent off of here. And you can see this actually turned out real good. It softened up our gasket on the bottom of our base plate and everything. And all our parts here, we want to go ahead and pull our metering blocks out. Rinse them good. And rinse all our small parts. Now we'll do one more final cleaning on everything as soon as we get the main body soaked and the fuel bowls. Now friends, we have our the main body of the carburetor soaking in the solvent also. And I also want to point out a good thing if you have an old Tupperware container. That's what I'm using right here, and it works great. The carburetor body fits in there perfectly. So we're going to go and just pull this out. It's actually sat here a few hours and it's looking really good. Let as much of your solvent drip back into the container as possible, and then we'll take this on out and go ahead and do the rinse job on it. And now for the final two things that need to be cleaned, and then we can actually start reassembling this carburetor, are the two fuel bowls. And all I've done is put a couple pieces of coat hanger through one of the holes in the fuel bowl, something to where we can pick it up and set it down in there. And we'll let that soak a little bit, and we'll be ready to do a final rinse job on everything, final cleaning, and put this carburetor back together. Alright friends, now that we've got all our parts soaked in the solvent and we rinsed them off outside, we brought them into the house. We filled up half of our sink with some hot water and Dawn dishwashing detergent, and we got an old toothbrush here. And you can just kind of do your final cleaning on all your parts here. And then we'll rinse everything off in some hot water, and we'll take it out to the shop, and we'll be ready to go ahead and blow everything off real good with compressed air. Okay friends, we're back out here in the garage now with all our parts, and we're getting ready to take compressed air, and we're going to blow everything off real good and blow through all the passages. And you can see this air blower that I have here. It's a pretty nice one. It's got a little piece of 1/8 inch tubing on it and a real small tip on the end. Works great for this. And what you want to do, go ahead and blow all the water off all the pieces real good. But I want you to go and blow through each one of these passages, okay? Make sure you get to blow air through each one of them. Make sure it doesn't have any type of trash or debris in here. Same thing with the metering block. Make sure you blow through each passage in the metering block and in the main body. And of course, even on the bottom plate too, you know there's some passages here. You want to make sure you blow through them too. Now friends, everything's cleaned up and ready to go, and I want to show you the kit that we're going to be using today. We're going to be using a Holley trick kit, okay? Let's open this thing up and see what's inside. We'll take a look at this right quick, and we'll go ahead and lay out our parts that we're going to, our new parts. Okay, we got a new flange gasket that we're going to use today, so we'll just lay it aside now because that'll be the last thing that we do use. Looks like we have several little parts. I see some parts in here we will be using, and some that this carburetor will probably not require. Okay, so we'll just lay these little bags aside for right now. Let's get to our accelerator pump. Okay, here we go. This is what I was talking about earlier. There's two types of accelerator pumps. You can see that this one has a larger diaphragm. So that's the one that definitely goes in the rear bowl, okay? So, and this is the one that goes in the primary. Now sometimes these kits will actually give you another one, and here it is right here. I see it. See, here's one that would be the same as the primary, because some of the carburetors don't have the larger accelerator pump in the rear bowl, but this one does. Here's our bowl gaskets. We'll go ahead and just lay them aside. Here's our metering block gaskets right here, and we'll lay those aside for now. We have two power valves here. We'll check those in a minute, make sure they're the same. Actually, we have another power valve. Okay, so this one does come with a couple different power valves, and you can select which one you want to install. And of course, we have an instruction sheet with a bunch of specifications. I will just hang on to it in case we need to refer to something, but I think I can get us through this rebuild without looking at the instructions. And here's our new needle and seats right here. So let's get started on putting this thing together. Now friends, we're just getting things kind of organized before we get started. We went ahead and, we got an extra power valve with the kit. Went in and finally got my glasses so I could see. Actually, both of our power valves that we took out of this carburetor were 6.5s. So in this kit, these are our two 6.5s. And this one here, we're just going to lay it aside. We'll hang on to it for another day. Actually, we got right over here, we got our rear metering block, and we went ahead and got our 76 jets laid out here with our rear metering block and our rear bowl. Over here, we have our front metering block. We've got our 70 jets that we're going to put in it in a minute, and we have our front bowl. Okay, so we got everything laid out here, getting ready for assembly. Another thing is remember I told you to hang on to that body gasket between the base plate and the body, and because see, this kit come with 4 different gaskets, and you can quickly go through them if you get your old one here, and you can match your gaskets up so you put the correct one back on. So we'll lay this one aside. That's going to be our new one, and we'll lay our old one over there, and we're just going to toss these aside for right now. And so we're going to get started putting these metering blocks and fuel bowls together. Alright friends, step 1, we're going to start putting our fuel bowls together. So we're going to get our floats, which we've already checked, in some water. We know they're good to go. And all we did with these, we didn't soak these, we just sprayed them off with some choke cleaner in a can. So let's go ahead and install both of these floats. We're just going to slide them into place and get the screws started and tighten them down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do both of these and get the floats installed. Okay friends, we got the floats installed, and all you want to do is make sure you got the 2 screws in here tightened down, and you can see them right here, right there, and right there. Okay, make sure that your float does not bind, and we've got the one installed on the rear bowl also. So here we go. Now it's time to go ahead and install the needle and seat. And what I have here is just some simple baby oil, okay? Because there's an O-ring on here. We don't want to tear it up as we install it. So put a little bit of baby oil on the needle and seat setup here. And around here on this side, go ahead and start screwing it in. And it should screw in real nicely for you. Now, at this point, get your new gasket out of your kit. You got 2 of these gaskets right here that will go right on top of the needle and seat there. Then you can take your nut, and you can see how the nut is actually made offset there, where it's got a flat side on each side. Well, that fits onto the needle and seat and makes it where you can turn it. Now, adjustment purposes, okay? Here we go. I'm going to show you, no need in measuring with the little measuring gauge and all that stuff. See, we're raising it up, and you see this distance between the float and the top of the bolt. I want to raise this up to where I can barely see the bottoms of those screw heads down in there where I installed it, okay? And if you can hold it upright and you can just barely see the bottom of them, that float level right there, there's probably about 5/16, 3/8 of an inch there, and that's about where I'm going to set it at. Okay, actually this is my front bowl. I'm actually going to go a little deeper. Okay, I'm going to make sure I can see that whole head, And reason being because we drag race this car sometimes, and I don't want fuel spilling out of my vent pipe. So I'm going to keep my fuel level a little bit low in this bowl. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And because we have a good fuel pump on this thing, and we have a pressure regulator on it also, so we don't get too much pressure in our bowls to override the needle and seat. So we've got the adjustment where we want it. Now let's take our lock nut, our lock bolt here, and there's gaskets in the kit for that. Go ahead and install the new gasket and start the screw. Tighten that down, and we have our 5/8 wrench here, and we'll hold our adjustment there where we set it, and we'll snug our lock bolt. Okay, so that's all there is to installing your needle and seat and adjusting your float level on your Holley carburetor. Now remember, you can break this loose at any time you want to and adjust it at the racetrack if you need be, but typically once you do that, you're set to go. Now there's a sight glass here on the side. We'll go ahead and install the plug and put our new gasket to come in the kit, and we'll go ahead and start that and tighten that down. Okay, got my screwdriver. We'll go ahead and just tighten that down too while we're at it. Okay, friends, that fuel bowl right there is ready to be installed. Okay, now let me do one more thing I'm going to show you right now. We'll go ahead and grab 4 of our bolts. Here's our bolts after we've cleaned them and blown them off. Now we've got these nylon washers here. Go ahead and put a nylon washer on each one of these bolts, and you can go ahead and just stick them in the bowl if you want to. That's fine. Put them in place, and we'll go ahead and install all these and have this bowl ready to go on when we get ready for that procedure. Okay, now we do have one more thing that we need to do to the bowl. We need to go ahead and install our accelerator pump. Okay, so here's our new accelerator pump, and remember we were talking earlier about there's 2 different ones for the front and the rear bowl on this carburetor. So we're using the smaller, thinner one on this side. Now this is your spring here that puts a little bit of pressure on your accelerator pump right here. So go ahead and put the spring in place. Go ahead and lay the accelerator pump in place. And here's your little housing for it. Go ahead and stick a screw, or maybe at least 2 of them in here. And all you got to do is sit it on top of here and start the screws. Okay, and we'll use our Phillips head screwdriver to get these started. And then we'll get all 4 of them started. Don't tighten any of them down yet until you get them all started. Okay, be careful not to over tighten anything. You know, we don't want to, you know, be a gorilla here and tear everything up. So just kind of snug it down just till it seals. And that's really all you need to do. Go back and double check each one. Now this fuel bowl is ready. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and lay it aside. That's our front fuel bowl. It's ready to be installed. And we're going to go ahead and assemble the rear one, okay? And then we'll start talking about metering blocks.